discussion is, I think, the awards. I don't know if you guys have your awards already set up.
Got a couple.
Ready for it?
Oh yeah.
Let's start off with defensive player of the year. I think defensive player of the year is it's gonna be an interesting year just because I think there's a lot of guys that are definitely viable for that position or that viable for that spot. And Brad, who do you have for a guy that could make the second team? Or sorry, not second team. Excuse me, the defensive player of the year.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm about to steal Pete's pick, but I got Evan Mobley. Um, give me Evan Mobley. The Cavs' defense is going to be nice just because of him and Jarrett Allen leading the charge on that end. He can guard all five positions effectively. He's going to put up, Victor Wembanyama type stat lines with 5 blocks, maybe 4 steals, something like that. I got Evan Mobley. He was close last year, to be honest. He was close.
Pete,
Give me my guy Mobley. I mean, it's done. Mobley's the guy. Mobley. No, honestly, Mobley is right up there for me. This one's really tough, though. This one's really tough because I honestly have a few guys. I wrote down 3 names of possible people I was torn between.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are going to think I'm crazy because Mobley is one. I can't believe how bad the odds are for Marcus Smart to repeat as Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's insane. He was such a good defensive player last season, completely justified winning the award. If that team is as good as people are projecting them to be, if they're a first seed, second seed, and well on their way to another championship appearance or finals appearance, it'll be partially because Marcus Smart is still the defensive center of that team. Like, he's that good as a defender. I had Drew Holiday as a very distant potential person. I still think he's got one in him, but this is a weird one, guys, but I like Herb Jones as like a sneaky odds guy for Defensive Player of the Year. I kind of love Herb Jones. I'm a little maybe too high on Herb Jones. I don't really think he's going to win this award, but if there's a guy that comes out of nowhere to win it, it could be him because the Pelicans are going to be better than everybody thinks they are. And if they're a good defensive team, he'll be their best defensive player is Herb Jones. So I like him as a sneaky one, but yeah, I like Mobley as probably my number one pick for that.
Yeah, I'll probably go. I think I'm just gonna go. I'll probably go Mobley.
Mikal Bridges too. I forgot Mikal Bridges. He's probably actually like, I think if I had to put my most likely person to win it, he's right there because I think he is one of those guys that people should have given more votes to last season. Yeah, he should have got more votes last season. I couldn't believe how far away he was from getting it. I would have considered him. If any Suns player wins anything this season, it'll be him. He's the only guy on that team close to winning something.
I mean, how funny would it have looked though if they gave him Defensive Player of the Year and then Luka did what he did to them? Like that's
but that's the tough thing is that would have happened to just about anybody though. I mean, that wasn't Mikal Bridges' fault that Luka did that. Their whole team, I would put that more on Booker and Ayton and all those guys.
True, but if you have the Defensive Player of the Year, they should, step up and take that challenge. Like I don't think Luka is going to cook Evan Mobley like that.
Yeah, but Mobley wouldn't be guarding Luka like that either, though. He probably would.
But he'd be a rim protector at least. Ayton.
Well, they have Jarrett Allen for that.
Ayton clearly shown that he's not a rim protector. And I think
True.
That's fair. So, but I agree with you guys. I think Mobley probably it. I have Giannis as kind of my second guy, and then my third guy. This is just a consolation prize, but I'm gonna put Anthony Davis as kind of like my third guy on that list.
I love that pick, Bernie. I love it. That's the best thing you've said this whole stream. He actually could do it.
I think a healthy AD is a different player. And that's the kind of thing that I'm hoping to see from Anthony Davis this year. Like, if he can really stay healthy and really be that guy that I think a lot of us think he can be, I think the sky's the limit for that guy. I mean, not even just like the MVP discussion, but like Defensive Player of the Year, even higher on the All NBA teams. Again, it all comes down to me for the Lakers season rides on Anthony Davis and how he's preparing himself for the season. And if he's preparing himself like a lot of us hope he is, whether that's, shooting the ball, playing defense, getting leaner, and really working on his body to be in tip-top physical condition, then I think sky's the limit for them. And I think Anthony Davis definitely deserves at least an award. And I don't think he's going to win the MVP, but I think he will at least get the Defensive Player of the Year if he's healthy.
Well, I think of all players that would have the narrative behind him too. I mean, all these awards at the end of the day are narrative awards. So that's basically what it boils down to. And he's the guy that could potentially have the strongest narrative going into this award. Because if the Lakers are even remotely a strong defensive team, which that's a long shot, but if they are, it'll be because of him. Like if he can go back to the guy he was, and he was top 5 defender pretty much every year when he was really healthy. He's definitely got that in him.
I hope
like
so.
it, Bernie.
My Lakers will be.
All right, let's move on to
no Robert Williams, Bernie, for Defensive Player of the Year. You don't think he's got one in him either?
Too hurt. I think if he stayed healthy, I mean, he's
Yeah.
already going to miss the regular season already. That's a concern for
That's a
me.
good point.
I think he would definitely be in consideration for the award, but because he gets hurt all the time, it's hard to put him up there. Personally,
Yeah, that was the same thing I wrote for Jaren Jackson. I think Jaren Jackson is going to come back sooner than people think he is, but I still think he's hurt too often. He's such a good defender, though. If he was healthy coming into the season, he would probably have been my number 1 pick coming in.
All right, let's move on to the next award. Let's go for the MIP. I feel like the MIP, the most improved player. This is an award again that a lot of people are contentious about, especially after last season when a NBA superstar won it. But who would you guys have as like your most improved player coming into this year? Like who, if you had to place a bet, who would that bet be on?
Most improved is tough just because some players can like literally come out of nowhere and win it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to, take a safe pick, I'd go with Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah,
He's going to get more opportunity. Pacers are building around him. He's going to get more opportunity. Cam Johnson, he might not even start, bro.
Hey, honestly, Cam Johnson is sneaky good, though.
He is sneaky good. I
He
just
should
think
start for their team.
he should, but I just think on that Suns team, like his role is really just shoot. And so, like, I don't know how you win MIP off that. But, like, yeah, Tyrese, he's going to have the ball in his hands more. He's got a good backcourt partner with Benedict, who I think they're a good fit with each other. They can bounce off. I think it's, either his or Tyrese Maxey's for the taking.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I would have said a different Tyrese as my first pick. I think Tyrese Maxey is my most likely person to win this award. I think he's going to have like a huge jump in points per game. I think he was 17.5 last season. I could easily see him in like 24, 25 points per game this season. I think that's a big enough jump if you're first seed in the East, second seed in the East, and he jumps up 7-8 points per game. It's pretty hard not to give it to him. Anthony Edwards is obviously he's the leading candidate for most people. He's got the top odds to win that award. I don't know. I would probably go Tyrese Maxey. I don't think Halliburton. I don't think the Pacers will be good enough for him to get consideration.
True, but I feel like they don't look at record for MIP because wasn't Devontae Graham up there a couple years ago for it, and his team was terrible.
The Hornets,
He came out of nowhere and had a big stats increase.
Yeah. You know who I like for this award, actually? This is the person I'll pick. I like Cade for this award. I think Cade is going to have a really big jump in a lot of his statistical categories this season. And not only that, I think the Pistons are going to take a huge leap in terms of their wins in general.
Mm-hmm.
So even more so, it's still not a winning record, but one of the things too is that Cade was so good last season, getting that close to Rookie of the Year after missing pretty significant amount of time too.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that is going to be an award consideration for a long time, and this is kind of like one of those. Let's get him started now and get him some votes because he is going to be good. He's going to be really good this season. Cade is a freak, so I love Cade.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, Brad. I think that if I was to go safe pick, I'd probably go Halliburton. Just because I think, like you said, I think the stats will be there for him. I think he's going to be the leader of that team. And so by being the leader of that team, you're obviously going to get those stats and the recognition. But one player I think that could win it potentially, just kind of like out of left field, especially because of the fact that this team is missing one of their rookies this year, I think he's going to take a huge step up. I got Josh Giddey.
Yeah,
I think Josh Giddey could definitely be definitely someone that could be considered for this award. I think as someone that again, is the team going to be success going to be amazing? No. But I think that he's going to take such an improved step in his game. I think shooting is his only concern, in my opinion, in terms of his mechanics. I think could take some time to just kind of like, especially for a guy that's not is going to be more of like a set shooter or catch and shoot guy rather than like someone that gets someone off the dribble and shoot. Especially for 3-pointers, that is. I still think that that Josh Giddey could definitely improve his stats. I think he could definitely be a triple double machine if he wanted to. And I think that's the reason why I think that he could potentially win the award is because he's going to average close to a triple double in his I believe this is his second year, right? So
second season. I like that pick a lot, Bernie. I like his odds a lot too. Do you guys want my ultimate homer pick for this entire stream? I had this one saved just for you guys. Of like,
let's hear it.
I love this one. Bernie, I would never put my money on this. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't. But I like the odds because it's like plus 12,000 that he could win this award. I like Quentin Grimes, guys. I like Quentin Grimes a lot as somebody who's like coming from literally getting hardly any minutes last season. He's going to be the Knicks starter for at least 50 of the games this season. I guarantee you. If not starting, he'll be the sixth man. And he's going to go from like 7 points a game to probably like 15 or 16 on this team. Just be a player that people know his name, which I think we're talking people coming out of nowhere. I think
that's a good pick. Yeah,
he's one of them. He's one of them because he's going to be really. If the Knicks take a step forward and like kind of go closer to the team they were 2 years ago, and play like the best defensive team in the league like 2 years ago, it'll be in large part because he steps into that role and becomes one of our better defenders. So just throwing him out there, long shot, homer pick, but I like him because there's a lot of Knicks in consideration for this. I've seen RJ as like. I think he's third in the odds. Jalen Brunson's like fifth or sixth. I like those, but it's not. The odds aren't good enough. They should still be distant. Like no Knicks player is going to win this award this season. So if I had to take any of them, I'd take that really long shot. Shut the stream down with that one. I like it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for, baby.
Let's move on to the next award. Let's see here. Let's go Rookie of the Year. I think this one is probably unanimous. I mean, I don't necessarily think all of us are going to disagree with this one.
It's absolutely Paulo Banchero. That's no.
Who'd you say?
Jabari Smith.
No, it's gonna be Paulo. I think
It's Paulo.
I will be honest with you guys. I did debate putting Keegan Murray in the spot because
Keegan Murray could be good.
Keegan Murray is going to be an absolute bucket for a team that's going to take a step forward this year. Like, I don't like the Kings very much as a lot of people are high on them coming into the season, but Keegan Murray he's going to score, and he's going to score super efficiently for that team. So I like him a lot, but would never bet him over Paolo. Paolo's different. I think he's 20-10 rookie season.
Yeah. 20-10 and has the clout. I think it's going to be hard to.
I would even go so far as to say like 20-10-5. Like he might be right there. He's a pretty good playmaker too.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why. Like, as much as I would love Keegan Murray to kind of be the Rookie of the Year in terms of, finally the Kings have drafted someone where it's not a head scratcher or you're punching the walls if you're a Kings fan. Yeah. But I just think Paulo's just going to be too good. Again, whether the record is there or not for the Orlando Magic doesn't really matter. I think, like Brad said, I think it's more about stats with this award at least, and the most improved. And so, with that being said, I definitely can see Paulo winning that award just single handedly, just even putting up like 20 and 8, and with like
dominant
4 assists. Like I think it's going to be over at that point.
No, go ahead, Brad.
Pete. Okay, I was gonna say, who would you guys think, like, if not Paulo, is second in that running for Rookie of the Year?
I think Keegan Murray.
I think
clearly
for Rookie of the Year, I think a sneaky guy that if we're going based on statistics, he's gonna score points. I promise you, is Benedict Mathurin. I was gonna say
him too. Yeah,
he's gonna be very sneaky in terms of like Offensively, he's going to be super fun to watch. So people are going to like him. They're going to want to vote for him. He's going to have a ton of highlight reel plays.
Ooh.
He's going to probably score on that team. He's going to be like their third, second option pretty soon into the season behind Tyrese. So he's right there.
Oh, all right. We got a super chat. Super chat in the building. Ishmael, thank you for the super chat. He says MVP Devin Armani Booker, 30 plus points, 5 and 5. Appreciate that, Ishmael. Appreciate that super chat. Definitely can goes a long way. And again, if you guys are interested in donating to the channel, there is super chats and also a donation link to the channel as well. But thank you, Ishmael, for that. Devin Booker,
really appreciate it.
Shout out Ishmael.
35 and 5.
Is his middle name really Armani? That's crazy. I did not know that.
30 points, 5 rebounds a game, and 5 moved mascots in the season.
That's the stat.
Yeah.
5 disses towards Luca.
There you go.
5 Luca specials.
5 breakdowns in the final 2 minutes of a big game. All right, sorry, Ismail. We're not making fun of you. Thank you for the chat. We're just kidding.
No, we appreciate you for real.
we're not Devin Booker people, but he is much better than we give him credit for, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a bit too soon. Yeah, from the MVP conversation. Let's see here. Let's move on then. Let's move on to the next award. Let's go sixth man of the year. I think this one might be a little difficult as well because I think there's definitely a lot of players that are capable of being those sixth man of the year type of guys. Brad, who you got as your sixth man of the year? Is it Lou Will?
I might have alluded to this. Ooh, sixth man like I'm Lou Will. Is he in the league? I think he's out, huh?
I don't think he's on the team right now. I'll look that up while you tell.
Okay, yeah. I might have alluded to this earlier in an earlier stream, but give me Christian Wood. I really like
okay.
as a coach, and I think he's going to use him in the correct ways. And even more, he's motivated. You know, money is the best motivator, and so if he wants that bag, he's going to have to come off the bench, play his role. He's too talented. just looking at him, he's too talented and too skilled to not have a good season, especially playing next to someone like Luka who can maximize his talents. So give me Christian Wood.
All right. Pete?
I like the idea of Christian Wood getting this award. I just don't think he's going to be their sixth man long enough for him to qualify for this award. He's by far their second best player. Like, I don't even really truly understand what the logic is of having him come off the bench. Their team isn't good enough to have him on the bench. So I think that's pretty tough. I think it's Brogdon. Like, Brogdon to me is in the perfect spot to be sixth man of the year. He's going to be so much so that there's probably going to be moments, depending on how things go with this team, where people wonder if he should just be the starting point guard, but they're not going to do that with Marcus Smart and the way that the season went for them last year. So I like Malcolm Brogdon a lot for this award, but I had him as a 1A, 1B situation. This one is a little sneaky, but I think Bones Highland has a good shot to get this award.
Is a good one.
He has a very good shot to get this award, and I honestly had him not that far away from my most improved player as well, just because I think the opportunities for him running the second team for Denver is going to be very strong. He's going to score a lot of points, and he is and we talked about it earlier when we were talking about League Pass. People don't really get to watch Denver. People are going to really like Bones Highland a lot once they actually get to start watching him play. He's fun. He's a cool dude. He's got a good story. It's all narrative, and he's going to have good stats on a good team. So yeah. I like him as a sneaky one.
Yeah, I actually had him as my sixth man. I think I had Brogdon as my second. Just because I didn't want to be too homer of a pick there, but I think like you said, I think Bones is definitely going to be a guy. Again, I may be a little bit down on the Denver Nuggets, but he was a guy last year that you saw made an immediate impact.
Yeah.
When those two guys went down with Porter and Jamal Murray. And so I think if he continues to kind of build and lead up to kind of the regular season and continue the same success that he had last season towards the end of it, there's no reason why he can't be a sixth man of the year and like really, really play some contributing minutes, especially if those guys are healthy. I think the Denver Nuggets, if they're back to where they are those 2 years ago, whenever they were like, I think they won the first in the West. Then I think that you have something special there. But yeah, I do like the idea of Bones Highland being the sixth man of the year.
I got one really, really sneaky one too. He has crazy odds for how good he is on how good of a team he's on too. Nope. I love the idea of DeAnthony Melton as the sixth man for the Sixers.
Ooh,
I
I
think
love
he's
D'Anthony Melton.
I think he's so good, and he was so buried on the depth chart for most of his career in Memphis. He is the perfect type of player for the 76ers. And if they end up being like one seed, really just dominant regular season team, it'll be because their depth is so good. And I think he is going to be like so good on their second team. And just the defense he's going to bring them, his shooting, he's a perfect fit. I like him as a sneaky pick for this.
That's a really good sneaky pick. I would put money on that if we could bet in Washington.
It has plus 4,900 odds, which is, I think that's wild for the sixth man on the 76ers to get that high of odds is just mind boggling to me. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. Let's move on to maybe an award that maybe we didn't think about too much, but I'm not sure if you guys have anything for this one, but Executive of the Year. I think that there's a couple names that I could go with. If you guys don't have any, I can go first if you want.
I have one.
You go first, but I have a couple.
The one guy I just want to shout out is probably my Executive of the Year is probably going to be Kobe Altman. I think Kobe Altman as the Cleveland guy, bringing in Donovan Mitchell, the fact that he's kind of built this team right now to where it's at, and as high as we think that this team could go, I definitely can see Cleveland and Kobe Altman winning that award.
Who won last season?
I have no idea. I can take a look.
Let's see.
A realistic pick, which I can't really believe I'm saying this a year after I thought this dude was like the worst exec in the league. I genuinely think David Griffin has like a pretty good shot to win this with the Pelicans. Like if they jump into like the third, fourth seed, or even in the fifth, somewhere in there. Like I think David Griffin, the way he turned that Pelicans roster around, got Zion back into the team happy-ish, seemingly. He should definitely be in consideration. I like David Griffin a lot for this. My sneaky, like if we're just talking about the long run exec of the year, Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge. If he tanks to Wembanyama in Utah and they end up with Wembanyama, give him the exec of the year. Give it to him. Traded everybody, got a ton of assets back. Reset that team at the perfect year to do it. Danny Ainge. But I really think David Griffin is the guy to win this one. James Jones, I mean, James Jones is tough.
He was fourth on the list for Executive of the Year.
If Phoenix is better than we think they are, maybe. But I just think we're all in consensus that they're going to take a step back. And if he didn't win last season on like a historically good regular season, it'd be pretty hard pressed to give it to him the year after. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, and he didn't make too many moves.
Yeah,
give me Daryl Morey. I think the trade for DeAnthony Melton, signing PJ Tucker was great. And I think he's going to do something with Tobias Harris midseason. At least I'm hoping. Yeah, he really needs to. And if he can pull off getting off of Tobias Harris, he should win that award. If he can turn Tobias Harris into an impact player that they can trust in the playoffs, just give it to him.
Yeah, he's. I think he should be probably tied leading candidate with David Griffin and Kobe Altman right now. The three of them, it's their award to lose. The three of them.
Yeah. And let's just kind of quickly talk about Coach of the Year. I have two guys that I want to mention, and it's really tough because I think both of these guys. I think it depends on where they finish in the regular season. That's who I think wins the award. I got JB Bickerstaff and Willie Green. I think those two guys are going to be battling it out for it. And depending on which team finishes higher, I think that's who's going to win the award. But I have Willie Green currently right now as my number one, and then JB Bickerstaff is my number two. Because I think that Bickerstaff definitely did an amazing job with that Cleveland team. And if it wasn't for the injuries, I think he would have won the award last year. But because of what happened to the injuries, I think he lost it. But I'm excited to see if Willie Green can continue the momentum that they had from last season and bring it over to this season like we think they will. Then I think it's his award to lose.
I have the exact opposite. I have the flip. I have JB Bickerstaff winning in Willie Green second. I flip-flopped them back and forth. I really, truly really truly think Cleveland is top 3 seed in the East. Like, to me, I know you guys think I'm nuts. I'm overdoing it with Cleveland. I think their squad is just insanely built for regular season games. Like, they are going to defensively mutilate teams. Like, I don't know if people are prepared for how hard it is to score against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But then the fact that they're just, I'm basketball in love with Cleveland. I think they're going to be so good this season.
I'm with you guys. I had Willie Green as my top pick, one, and then I had JB Bickerstaff, two. I chose Willie, same reasons for you, Bernie. I love like what he got out of his players last year. He's a tough defensive-minded coach, and he got them to like play together, something Stan Van Gundy couldn't do at all. And he's smart. He's willing to take risks. He put in Jose Alvarado and benched Devontae Graham, which was a great move. Made their team much better. So yeah, he's giving minutes to Trey Murphy. I'm interested to see how he, handles Dyson Daniels. I love Willie Green, and I think it's his award to lose as well.
Yeah.
My sneaky pick would be Mike Malone if the Nuggets win a bunch of games, though.
I like Mike Malone a lot too. My narrative pick, I think this guy has the best narrative going into the season as far as what people think of him as a coach. Brad and I were talking about this earlier too. I think Nick Nurse is the best coach in the NBA personally, but not far behind him, narratively, is Ty Lue. Ty Lue, if the Clippers come in they're genuine title contenders, top 3, top 4 seed in the West, it probably is going to go to him just as like hey, you really held this team together to get to this point. I think that's one of those long-term, let's pay our respects to Ty Lue. And y'all did talk a lot of nonsense about Ty Lue a few seasons ago, and I think he has proved a lot of people wrong. He is one of the better coaches in the NBA, undoubtedly at this point. Are we doing all rookie teams? I think we should do the first. You want to do just first team? Let's just do first team. Do it quick. It's pretty easy. It's Paolo, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I think we can all agree Keegan is going to make it.
Yeah.
I would say Benedict Mathurin is in there for sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The question is then, who would be your other guard? Do you want? Is it Jaden Ivey? I think everybody's first instinct would be Jaden Ivey. I honestly think Dyson Daniels gets first team rookie. I think Dyson Daniels is going to be like the starting point guard for New Orleans by mid-season.
Wow, that's a good call. I didn't even think of that. I had Tari Eason in there. I think he's a sneaky one.
Yeah, that one's interesting. I put Jabari Smith as my last guy because I think defensively he's like actually a freak on defense.
True.
He's like sneaky defensive team award if the Houston Rockets could take a leap, but they're not good enough to take a leap. So I would just give it to him for rookie team, first team.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go centers for this award. So I got. I think it's just out of just center position, I'd probably just go Walker Kessler. I think he's going to have a pretty decent season. Now, is he going to be superstar all NBA guy? No, but I think for rookie, I think he's
going to get an opportunity.
And then let me give you a sneaky guy for another guard. I'm going to go Jalen Williams from the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I like that too. I just think they're so bad that
yeah.
He is nice though. I think we're all on top of this one. He has looked so good in preseason. The minutes I've seen him play, he is nice. Let me ask you a question. I meant to ask you this when we were doing Rookie of the Year. If Chet wasn't injured, he was healthy, how different would you feel about Rookie of the Year, Bernie? Because I personally, I still would actually have my rankings the exact same if Chet was healthy. Would yours have changed?
I think it would have been a lot closer.
I think he would have made first team all rookie. However, I don't think I would have put him over like Keegan Murray or Benedict Mathurin for Rookie of the Year personally.
Wow. That's just the Chet hater coming out of you.
It's not. It has nothing to do with that. It's just statistically.
Just say you don't like him. It's okay.
No,
Follow better.
I won't do that. It's not the point. It's a statistic award. He's not, even if Chet was fully healthy, Bernie, do you think he's a 15 a game scorer first year?
I think so. And to 15, that's easy. In this inflation, in this economy, in this basketball, in this basketball economy where stats are inflated, yeah.
And I guess by that logic, that's like a 9 point per game season a few years ago. So maybe we're agreeing more than we think we are. Yeah. I don't think he would have scored that many points enough to be in consideration. think it's not even saying he's bad, Bernie. You take it as a slight to this guy. It's not that. It's just statistically, I wouldn't see it.
I don't know. I think he's gonna make a huge impact for their team when he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right. Him and Giddey had insane chemistry together too in summer league, so you might be right. I was more just interested in how much it would have changed.
I'm gonna change my center.
Chat, even though he's injured.
No, I'm gonna go Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren.
I thought that's what you were gonna say, Bernie.
Yeah, I forgot about him until I remembered. It's got to be him. Like, I wanted to just pick Walker Kessler because I'm like, okay, Utah, they don't have anybody, so you might as well just have him and see what he can do. But yeah, I think it's
like Marjan Beauchamp for this one too.
Marjan
like
is
a
also
sneaky,
another one too.
Sneaky first team. You know, guys, Brad, I know we were talking about this in particular. Did you see that last Thunder game where Ousmane Dang played?
Yes, yeah, I saw that. He blew past Jaden.
Why did he look so nice?
He looked good. Yeah, I saw him blow past Jaden Ivey for like a nice left-hand finish. I was like, whoa, like, okay, you can do that? Like, I thought you were one of the worst players in the league.
I mean, that was one of those things where that's the moment where I'm like, oh my God, I was so excited when the Knicks drafted him and then instantly moved him. And then I was bummed that we didn't have him. And then I convinced myself, oh, this dude is not ready. It'll take a few years. And then I watch him play in these preseason games, and it's like, I didn't even think this dude would be on their roster, let alone efficient, and just he looks like a freak out there too compared to these guys.
Yeah.
That's why you took him. He's one of those weird just prospects in terms of like what could he be. He looked really good. If he keeps getting minutes, people are going to be.
I feel like that's why they were the ones that cut Derek Favors, right? I feel like that's why they waived him.
He traded Derek Favors, didn't they?
They traded, yeah. They
it was like a weird, like a bunch of players moved, like 7 players moved back and forth between teams. But yeah, he did. Yeah. He did get moved.
All right. Let's move on to the final award. This is the one. The MVP of the NBA, and I think I know where Brad's going with his.
Easy money. Come on now.
Pete, I'm not sure about you. I think you can go in definitely different directions.
Brad, who's yours?
Joel the Dream Jr. Embiid.
Troel.
Joel, I love that name. Yeah, he's gonna, Sixers can win up to 60 plus games, which would put him. It's honestly his to lose. Like all he has to do is stay healthy, be as dominant as he was last year, and they're gonna win games, and that award will fall in his lap.
What about you? I'm feeling it's not Luka for you. I feel pretty strongly that that's not who you're gonna pick.
I'm not picking Luka. You're right.
I didn't think so.
I don't think he's gonna have the team. I don't think the team success is gonna be there for Luka.
So this is where I totally agree with you on this one, Bernie. Like he is the favorite by a lot. I feel like for pretty much everybody I see is putting him as the guaranteed MVP. This is where the team success should really matter. Like unless they sneak into the top 5 seeds in the West, he should get some consideration if that is what happens because he'll be the reason they're there. But their team is just not going to be good enough for him to be realistically the MVP. I just don't think that's okay, personally.
The problem with the MVP award for me is that I feel like it's become a retroactive award.
Yeah, like the season before, 2 seasons before. Yeah.
And it's because
that's why Joel is narratively the guy.
That's why, exactly. Yeah, he has that backing him too.
And so if I had to do that, then I think it is going to be Joel Embiid just because of the narrative and the past. I think it's definitely going to make a huge impact in that award and why I think that eventually that award will be his. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to go Homer here. I'm going to go with Jayson Tatum winning the award.
He could. I mean, another narrative one, right? Like where if they are the 1 seed without Ime, the season goes exactly the way it should, even without him. It'll be because Jayson Tatum is the MVP. So I like that a lot. I mean, it's one of those things where that's all that needs to happen for him to be in top 3 voting. I would say. Gun to my head, Embiid is the guy.
Yeah.
Second, very close. I think Steph Curry is like right there for this season. Like this is his I think he's got MVP energy around him this year, and it's kind of like a a season, 2 seasons late. Like, people have I feel like the perception of Steph as a guy, even though he hasn't changed in this last 6 months, but I feel like the general consensus of average fans about Steph has started to really change, where now he is like actually like a consensus top 10, top 12 player of all time. So if he comes out and has just an insanely efficient season, another 50, 40, 90, he could be right there taking it. If I had to make a gamble and I'm trying to win some big bucks here, I love the odds for Zion as MVP. I love the odds for Zion. I like them a lot. And it goes with all we're saying. Like if they're that good, Willie Green is the coach of the year. Pelicans win a ton of games. A big part of that will be Zion going back to the Zion of 2 years ago.
Could Brandon Ingram be in that conversation?
I don't think
Even most
so.
Improved?
Most improved, maybe. Sure. I think I'll be straight up with you guys. I have never been as big of a Brandon Ingram person as everybody else, and it's one of the ones where I just acknowledge I'm wrong. Like, I know I'm wrong. I know he's better than I give him credit for. I just can't help what I have in my head of Brandon Ingram has just been there for years at this point. Because I do still think, like, I question if he's your best player, are you even close to being a championship contender? I just don't think you are, realistically. That's maybe not fair, but that's the case. The thing is, Zion, with the players they have on their roster now, the spacing, better coaching, if he was putting up 27, 8 and 8 2 seasons ago, I just want to see what he does this year. I mean, he is legitimately possible like a 30-point a game scorer this year. If he's still playing like point Zion, has the ball in his hands a lot, they're going to be better and he's going to be really good. So he's a sneaky guy that could be right there.
That's definitely a good dark horse.
Yeah. Ishmael, let me read your comments before we continue. I'll tell you why CP3 taking a step back in terms of scoring, meaning Booker is just going to do crazy numbers, and that's why he has Devin Booker winning the MVP.
He's another one where like the long shot narrative of Devin Booker is there. Like it's better odds as far as if you're going to put money on Devin Booker winning. I like the logic. I personally don't think he has that in him. I like the logic. It's there. It's sound. I don't think so.
And he also says, I can't wait to come back in a couple months. Well, hopefully either way, I hope you still check into the channel. I hope you don't just come back when it's convenient. So I do hope that you do come back to the channel where we talk about all the teams. So I'm hoping that you're just joking about that one. But yeah, I mean, again, my problem with Booker has always been, and I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head a couple segments ago or a couple minutes ago when we talked about Devin Booker and the all NBA teams that we talk about. What team does he fit on? Like, and what else does he do for the team besides score? Because if he's not scoring, then he's not really being an effective player for you. And so, again, I don't think he's going to necessarily, and even when he was on a bad team, when it was just him without Chris Paul, he was putting up numbers, but it wasn't leading to anything. And I think for Devin Booker, I think it matters more that your stats lead to wins or lead to a first team All NBA or lead to a first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, because it is there. I mean, if CP does take a step back, I mean, his scoring should, by that logic, go up a good fair bit. So I like it. It's interesting. One person back to Coach of the Year really quick. We didn't talk about Darvin Ham. If somehow the Lakers end up being okay, Darvin Ham is certainly going to get a lot of consideration. I mean, that is definitely going to happen if they're better than people think they are.
I think it depends on if AD can stay healthy. I think everything for the Lakers, and I'm sure Brad as a LeBron fan, kind of what's it called? Airbnb-ing at the Lakers facility right now.
Yes, sir.
I think that it all hinges on AD. Like AD is going to be the reason why the Lakers are, a top 4 team in the playoffs, and also the reason why they're going to be so successful for this next season is all AD. Like, we know what LeBron's going to do. Actually, you know what? The one thing I want to add, I think LeBron potentially could be an MVP candidate because I think the storyline.
I was just about to say that
the storyline is there for him to break the all-time scoring leader of the NBA. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there for LeBron. And if he does that, I could see the league just saying, hey, we're just giving you the MVP award.
Honestly, if a Laker wins the MVP, it's going to be AD. And his odds are crazy high for how not unrealistic it is that he could win it too. I mean, I know like we keep saying it. This is like my award version of like the timeline with these young teams, but the narrative is so important with these awards. And realistically, like the Lakers, LeBron certainly always has a chance because he's LeBron, but AD, the reason it should be probably him that has better odds than LeBron is because his defense is going to be better if he's even that. If he's good enough to be an MVP consideration, it'll be because of both sides of the ball. You know, being a defensive force and scoring probably. He should be able to score more than LeBron. I promise you that. But we'll see if that happens. I don't think it's going to happen.
I would hope it happens because they need him to be their leading. The year they won a championship, he was their leading scorer. But I mean, it was mainly because LeBron was playmaking for him. He was point guard.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I like that pick, Bernie. I would take LeBron too, just because I like the narrative of him breaking Kareem's record, and then also if the Lakers can flip Russ and actually get some serviceable players, that team is not that bad. Like watching them in preseason, they have some pieces. So if his coaching is good, I mean they're bad, but if Ham's
Buddy.
coaching is good, and some pieces like some actual NBA players, Miles Turner, Buddy, Gordon Hayward, or Terry Rozier, Doug
James
McDermott, and
Katusko.
Josh Richardson. I would like that team. I think they could turn it around, end up being, a top 5, top 4 seed. And even for, having those players, they still wouldn't be as loaded as some of the other teams. So I could see the narrative for Braun winning MVP.
If the Lakers are a top 4 or 5 seed, LeBron and AD should share the MVP. They should both get it. I mean, they have no business getting that high of a seed with their team. So if they're there, it's because LeBron and AD went absolutely insane this season. Last one, I promise, of long shots. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really like Anthony Edwards at like 7,000 odds for this award. Like if they get close to 1, 2, 3 seeds, it'll be because of him. Take a huge leap. I honestly think he has a better chance of winning MVP than he does Most Improved, which sounds stupid. I don't think he should win Most Improved. He was great last season. Why would you give him Most Improved? If anything, it should be he took a step to the top 15 players in the league. Give him MVP votes.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, let us know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of the awards? Who's going to win them? Who's going to lose them? And who do you guys have for your award list? Let us know in the comment section down below and in the live chat if this video is going to be a premiere video. We'd love to know what you guys think about the award shows and who's going to win those awards in the comment section down below. And please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel.